Hello, music students. Today's lesson is going to be all about eighth notes. Now, some of you have been playing eighth notes for a very long time, and some of you have never played an eighth note or seen an eighth note before. So this lesson is going to be exciting for everyone, and everyone will learn something new about eighth notes today. Even if you're a music teacher and you've been teaching eighth notes for a very long time, I'm going to show you some things about eighth notes that maybe you didn't know, or maybe I can show you a way to play your eighth notes better. Okay, first of all, we're going to be using a method for reading music called the Kodály method. We're going to be using TT to talk about the eighth notes. Now, this is not the name of an eighth note, TT. It's what it sounds like. When you play an eighth note group, it sounds like TT. If you can say it, you can play it. Let's try some TTs or eighth notes all in a row so you can get the feeling for what they are like. T-T, 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 T-T. Did you notice that the first eighth note in the TT was louder than the second one? Many people don't know that. It's very important to play the first one louder, or sing it louder, or clap it louder, to keep you from speeding. Your rhythm can run away from you and keep gaining speed if you don't do the first one louder than the second one. So thinking about that, let's try clapping or saying the TT again. Let's begin. T-T, 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 T-T. If you don't play the first one louder, it may all run together and your rhythm might not be clear. Okay, so if you do it incorrectly, it might sound like T-T-T-T-T-T-T-T-T-T instead of T-T-T-T-T-T-T. Okay? So that's the first thing I wanted to show everyone, even if you're a music teacher or you've been playing in orchestra for a very long time, about the TT. If you are experiencing the TT for the first time, take some time later on today and try to draw some, try to clap some, maybe try to hear some in the songs that you're listening to. Let's find out what happens if we separate these eighth notes apart. I'm going to chop them apart, taking the beam off and putting flags on them instead. This is another way to make a TT. It's just separated and it has a flag instead of a beam. It's the same thing. You do it the same way. T, 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 T. You can do them fast or you can do them slowly. T, 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 T. Or you can do them fast. T, 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 T. If you can say it, you can play it. Another thing to find out about these eighth notes is that each one is 1/2 of a beat. 1/2 plus 1/2 equals a whole. So when you play them, it takes up the space of one beat. But if you play them individually, they're only 1/2 each. Eighth note, eighth note, eighth note, eighth note. When you put them together, they sound like TT. Let's find out what they look like if they are upside down. Upside down is allowed in music. We put the stems down on the left side. T-T, 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 T-T. The stems can go down on the left or they can go up on the right. If you have never done it before, take a time right now to get a piece of paper and try drawing them. I know that music is usually written in black and not red, but I thought it would look a little bit better for this instruction if it were in red today. The next thing I want to tell students about the TT is that they never stand alone. I call this concept TT Connect. T-T-T-T. We never do TT, 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 TT. We run it right into the next TT. TT, 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 TT. The TT always connects to something. All right, so that's another thing that's really going to help your playing. The first thing, remember, is play the first part of the TT louder than the second part. And also, make sure your TT connects to another note. Let's look at some more eighth notes. Let's remember the rule of TT Connect. Let's do it correctly, then we'll do it incorrectly, and then we'll do it correctly again, so that you can hear the difference of a TT done correctly. Begin. TT, TT, TT. That was correct because the TT connected to the next TT. Now let's do it incorrectly. TT, TT, TT. Did you hear how there was a pause after the TT? That is incorrect. We need to use the rule of TT Connect so the TT always connects to the next thing. Let's do it correctly now. Clap if you want, play an instrument if you want, or just watch. Ready? Begin. TT, TT, TT. That is correct. When we want to show that something is louder, we make this sign. It's called an accent. There's always an accent on the first TT, but just little accents on the other ones. Loud, soft, loud, soft, loud, soft, with this being the loudest. Awesome. But what if we have those TTs that are not connected? They still have an accent on the first one. TT. What are these? Do you know? Have you ever seen these before? Those are eighth note rests. Rests are like placeholders. They have no sound, but you need to pay attention to them and give them their space. So if this is TT, rest, rest, those are TT rests. I call them E. Okay? Eighth note, eighth note, eighth note rest, eighth note rest. This is a very common combination in music. The eighth note rest followed by an eighth note. It's a TT, but the first one is silent. It's like this. I have a special name for this. It's called E.T., sort of like the movie E.T. E.T. phone home. E.T. The E has no sound, so if you clap it, it goes like this. E.T., 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 E.T. Okay? Let's look at a complicated rhythm, and I bet you can do it. I bet even if you're in kindergarten, you can do it. Or if you're playing for a long time, or even a music teacher, you will find this a very easy way to play complicated rhythms. Let's start off with 2 eighth notes, a T-T, and then we'll make another T-T, but we'll just have them with flags instead of beams. It's still a T-T. Here's an E-T, T-T, T-T, E-T, and let's make another T-T, but this time stems down. Wow. I'll bet you thought that was hard. I bet you couldn't have played that 15 minutes ago, but I'm going to show you how easy it is. These are all just T-Ts. T-T, T-T, E-T, T-T. Let's try it together. Say it with me and clap it or say it. Ready? Begin. T-T, T-T, E-T, T-T. Now, let's clap it without saying it. Ready? Begin. I just noticed something. We were missing a flag. Let's try it again. T-T, T-T, E-T, T-T. Now let's clap it without saying it. Ready? Begin. Good job. We can combine T-Ts with ta and make something interesting. Let's start with T-T. Then how about, let's make a ta. Then let's make an E-T. And let's put another ta. I'm going to put the stem down on the left just because I can. Let's try this one. Ready? Begin. T-T, ta, E-T, ta. Good job. Let's do both of them together, starting here. Ready? Begin. T-T, T-T, E-T, T-T, T-T, ta, E-T, ta. Good job. See how advanced you are now? You can mix up these rhythms in whatever way you want. If you'd like, you can compose your own rhythms on a piece of paper and send it to me in an email. Let's look at one more thing about the T-Ts. Sometimes we use the word upbeat when we're talking about T-Ts. What do you think an upbeat might be? You might have heard it before. It has to do with the second part of the T-T. This part. We're going to call that the upbeat. But where does that word come from? It comes from when you tap your foot. You tap your foot down and up, down and up, down and up. When your foot goes down, it's the first part of the T-T. When your foot goes up, it's the second part of the T-T. So it would be T-T, 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 T-T. You can even feel your foot going up. T-T, 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 T-T. I used my hand instead of my foot, but you can try it now with your foot. Make your foot go down and up. Let's clap every time your foot goes down. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now let's clap every time your foot goes up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. This is your foot going up. This is your foot going down. If you want to play the E.T., this is very important to know because this is your foot going down and that is your foot going up. Your foot goes down and up. E.T., 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 E.T. The reason we tap our foot in music is so that we can divide our TT exactly in half. Now sometimes we hear people playing music that's really, really hard, but the music doesn't sound exactly right. And a lot of times it's because they're not dividing their TTs exactly in half. It's easy to divide a TT exactly in half if you tap your foot. T, 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 T. Okay? The upbeat is the second part, the place where your foot goes up. Okay, so that's what an upbeat is, right there. I hope that you can try to write some music. It's not required, but it will help you to really know in your mind this lesson. Right now I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to play you some examples on the piano of songs with eighth notes in them. I'm going to include pictures of this music so that you can see what the music looks like. The first song I'm going to play for you, it's an excerpt, that means a small part of a song. That's a Christmas song that you hear all the time. Can you hear ta ti ti ta, ta ti ti ta, ta ti ti ta in this Christmas song? We also used TT Connect because we always connected the TT to another note. What I just did was the incorrect way to play it. Listen to the incorrect way again. The TT should connect to another note, like this. TT Connect. Also remember your TTs should be loud, soft. Let's listen to another famous song that has TTs in it. In this one, can you hear ti-ti-ta, ti-ti-ta? This is a song about a cat from the music Peter and the Wolf by Prokofiev. It sure sounds like a cat to me. In this song, there was also an E.T. I'm not sure if you heard it, but it's there. The last song I want to play for you today has T, 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 T. Nothing but TTs. In order to keep the rhythm from gaining speed by accident, we need to do the TT loud, soft, loud, soft, loud, soft, loud, soft. And this song is called When Rivers Flowed on Mars. I think they had to imagine that. Maybe it was true, but somebody had to think up the music for what that might sound like. Listen for the TTs. I wonder if that sounds like music on Mars. As far as I know, there isn't any music on Mars. But maybe one time, a long time ago, there were rivers. In music, we use our imagination sometimes to make up things that we don't know about. Okay, so if you would like to write your own combinations of TTs and ta and ET, maybe try to play them. Then we'll be ready to learn the next thing. Have a great week and enjoy listening to music.